What we're going to see now is how to perform a service certification in SAP. That is, when we create a service purchase order, the work is carried out, and once the work is done, we have to certify the service in the SAP system. Then the best rule would be that once the service has been performed, we verify that the service was actually completed. We actually saw it with our own eyes. That certification is sent to the supplier, and the supplier can then submit the invoice to our organization. That would be the ideal scenario. Let's go to the transaction. As shown on the slide, it's ML81N. But for that, let's look at a service purchase order. Here I have it in SAP. I currently have this particular purchase order associated with cost center K, and if you proceed to enter the specific letter D, here you can see this service. All right, remember, here you see a material group for the service. And it includes services, 2 lines for catering service for 15 hours, 25 euros. And the second line, 20 hours at 25 euros as well. Okay, here we see the purchase order tab, the purchase order history. Sorry. What does that mean? Do you remember? If the tab is open here, if the tab appears, it's because something has been entered. We click on it, see. Here we see that it was entered. When it starts with 1, it means it's a service certification. What does that mean? It means that line 10 for 15 hours was entered and certified. And now we're going to do the next certification because the work was submitted, it's been completed, and we need to certify it. Send the certification to the supplier, and the supplier can then submit the invoice. All right, how is it done? We're going to open another little tab. ML81N, a tab or window, however you want to call it. And here we enter the purchase order. We already have it by default. We're going to enter it again. Line 10. Why line 10? Because I want this to be absolutely clear and perfectly understood. It's line number 10, you see, right here in the header section of the document. It has 2 sublines. What does that mean? That with line 10, the total is 875. See? It's subdivided. Let's scroll down to see if we can see it. We can do it like this. That way it minimizes. Now let's minimize here and go to details. And here it is. It's divided line 10 service category into 2 sublines. The first one was certified, and now we're going to certify the second line. Okay. We are currently in the service sheet creation area. Let's proceed to this small, distinct icon to initiate the creation of a new service sheet entry. Here you always have to enter some text. Let's put service. Let's go. Select service down here. Green check mark, and we will carefully select line 20 now because line 10 is already certified. All right, then click on the service option, and that's it. It would be 20 hours remaining at $25 each, which is the purchase order. Approximately 20 hours, and we're going to accept and save. I think on this platform, it allows me to enter the service certification for the period that's open, which I believe is February or March. All right, this is just as an example so you can understand how to create a service sheet in SAP. All right, we accept. We save, I think a message will pop up. Yes, in March or in February. it must be entered. This is because I can't change it on this platform to enter it in December 2024. But anyway, I enter it in the period that's open. If in your company, the period needs to be entered in December, and the system doesn't allow you to enter it, like in this case, it only lets me select March. This is a platform where I would have to call the administrator to enable December for me. But that would take me a lot of time. So what do you need to do? If this happens to you, you need to talk to finance, since they're usually the ones who open and close accounting periods, and tell them that the December period needs to be open so you can certify this service. And once the service is submitted, an accounting account is automatically generated, and that impacts the cost center of the area. All right, and with that certification, you send it to the supplier, and the supplier can submit the invoice. That would be ideal. But this is a tutorial and I need to make sure it's clear so you can understand how to certify a service. Green check mark, let's save. And here is the service sheet. All right, all service sheets start with the number 1. Okay, what are we going to do? We're going to check another purchase order. We enter the same one again so we can see the update. We press enter. And let's see if it was saved, if everything is okay. There it is. Let's go to the details. And here we see in our service system, we currently have this specific line item 10 and line item 20, which are essentially the primary sub-items of the overall purchase order body document. So let's go to the purchase order history tab. And here you see the 2 certifications.